Hi guys! So I'm going to be taping a video, I guess, of me getting ready. Basically, I'm just going to be doing my normal makeup routine. This is my first video, bear with me. I don't know if it's going to strictly be a makeup beauty channel. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens, but I'm Kayleen, so let's just do this. So first off, what I like to do is start with my brows. I fill them in. Over here I have like this gapping here. I try to kind of shape that out as well. What I use is the L'Oreal Paris Brow Stylist Definer. This is in the shade Brunette, and I'm just going to go in. This is the hardest part for me when it comes to my makeup routine. It's the eyebrows. After I go in with my pencil, I usually will just take like a dark brown eyeshadow that I have on hand and use an angled brush. And what I do is I just go over here and I just kind of help shade it in. The brow defining pencil just gives me like a starting point, kind of like an outline, and I just go in and I brush that eyeshadow and those gaps that show up. I just go in with my brow gel here. This is by e.l.f. It is Wow Brow. This is in the shade Neutral Brown. I think that's good enough for my brows. After I get my brows how I want them, I go in with just a little bitty brush, if you can see, very small, fine tipped, and I go in with some foundation and I just clean those brows up. This helps define the brow, okay? This helps it, you know, stick out, looks clean. Foundation, my go-to has always been MAC. I am in the shade NC35. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start my eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow primer. This is Milani here, as y'all can see. And all I do is I just put a little bit on my hand, and then I take my finger and I dab it on my eyelid here. This is basically the base to the eye look. It's going to help all of the eyeshadows blend together and stay on for a long period of time. I never don't put on eyeshadow primer. If I did, my eyeshadow would crease a lot. I am typically an oily skin type of person, so anything that I put on my face is going to eventually get really oily. So to help prevent that from happening, I use eyeshadow primer, face primer, powders, you'll see. So again, I did put this on. This is actually in the shade Nude. I didn't say that. So Milani eyeshadow primer in the shade Nude. It's on my eyes. I dabbed it with my finger. Now I am going to go ahead and set it with my powder. And the powder I use is in the brand of Airspun. And it is translucent. Translucent just basically means like a white powder. A lot of people, they get real scared when they see white powder go on because they think, oh, well, this is going to make me look white. No, it's not going to. It is basically what it is. It's a translucent powder. It's see-through. It's just there to set in everything on your face. So I set my eyeshadow primer. This doesn't have a name of what kind of brush it is, what kind of brand it is, but it is just like a packer brush. This is something that I use all the time on my eyes. I only really go through about 3 brushes in my eyes. 3 to 4, I'd say. So yeah. I'll use my Bare Necessities ColourPop. It's not like I have that much makeup to choose from, but this one has a variety. I may shift between 2 different palettes here and there. I haven't done a maroon eye in a long time. Should I do a maroon eye? Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna do browns. I am going to go in with the shade Hot Gossip. Again, this is my Bare, can't see it, the lighting's back. Bare Necessities eyeshadow palette by ColourPop. These are all the range of shades it has in here. You know what? I'm gonna do the purple. Okay, so first off, I always start with a transition shade. A transition shade, that's a tongue twister. A transition shade is going to help all of the colors that you use on your eyeshadow blend together. So I am going to go in with my Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH33 brush. It's just like a little eyeshadow packer brush. Really love this brush. Love all the Morphe brushes. They're probably my favorite brushes. I don't have that many. Again, I only stick to using a few. So I'm going to go in with the shade All For You. It is this one right here. And I'm just gonna take that shade and I'm going to keep it on my outer corner into my crease. So next up, I am going to go in with the same brush and I'm going to use the shade Act a Fool. It is this purpley shade right here. I'm just gonna take my brush. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to brush that shade into my outer corner, getting most of the pigment out there and then brushing into my crease. I think I'm going to go in with cufflinks. I'm going to go in with cufflinks. Okay, so because this shade is a shimmery shade, I like to wet my brush with those. It does help the color payoff go on a lot better if you wet it rather than just using a dry brush. That's just what I do. That may not be what everybody does. But that's what works for me. Have my little spray bottle and spray it, dabbing out some of that excess water. That's what it is on there. Okay. Okay, so now it's on my eye. I like it, however, I do like a darker outer corner. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go in with the shade Taboo, and it is like a dark brown, but it almost looks black. So I'm gonna hope that it looks decent on the eye once it's blended in with everything else. Okay, I am taking a Kylie brush. It doesn't have a name on it. It's just the brand Kylie from Kylie Cosmetics. It's an older brush. And I'm going to go back in that shade with Act a Fool. I am going to go in with the color Spyglass. And it is this color right here. It is a black. And I'm just going to go in with my Morphe Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow brush that I've been using. And I'm just going to stamp it. Stamping motions. I think that's good. And now I'm going to go in with my tattoo liner. This is by Kat Von D in the shade Trooper Black. I love, love, love this eyeliner. It is like a, I guess it's like a felt tip, but it's almost like a marker, and it's just easier to navigate on your eyelid. At least for me. Everybody's always like, how do you get your wing? This is what I use. It's really no special technique. I feel like it's all in the eyeliner itself, honestly. The payoff on it is like super good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start on my outer corner. I always start on my outer corner, and I just draw this little line right here. I guess that's even enough. So now what I am going to do is just take a makeup remover wipe. These are by Pure and Gentle. So I get most of the excess off with the makeup wipe, and then I wash my face. And then I also use these like I'm using them right now, and that is just to clear up any fallout from my eyeshadow that may have fell onto my face. That way I have a clean face to apply my foundation to. Okay, so next up I'm going to start my face. I am going to go in with my protective lotion, and it has SPF in there. This has SPF 35. This is Nutricentials Bioadaptive Skincare. Anyway, I'm going to use as much as possible on my face since it is now on my hand and I can't really save it. And I just rub it around on my face. Then I take my hands and I just rub it in. And oh my god, next year I'm gonna be 30. I'm going to be 30 next year. I go in with my Master Prime by Face Studio, but it is in the Maybelline New York brand. And this one is in the primer and base, and then it says blur and smooth. So basically what this is going to do is blur out your pores and smooth out your face. And I just put it on my hands, and then I put it on my face. I like to focus most of it around my T-zone here. That is where I get the most oily. I am then going to set it with my Airspun powder. It's always good to use a moisturizer and an SPF. Use y'all's SPF on y'all's face, guys. I always do my moisturizer lotion first, primer second, and then I use my Airspun. I don't know. I just have adult acne that probably will never go away. I do have a lot of scarring that you can see here, which is why I like my correctors. Pro Conceal LA Girls in the color Peach. Peach is going to cancel out all of the darker spots that you see. I have some freckles I like to cover up here, my dark under eyes. Around my mouth I have a lot of discoloration, so that's where I use that as well. Green, this is my best friend. This covers up all of the little red marks that you see. Love this stuff. I get it on Amazon and it's like $4 or $5. Sometimes the price fluctuates where it's like $6. It's really cheap and it'll last a long time. So I'm going to go in with this shade, and I'm just going to brush that on my under eye. I will smooth this out with a sponge after I am done applying it to my face. Then I'm going to take the green shade and I am just going to brush it out here. So to blend that out, I believe this is by Real Techniques. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of smear that out. So you can kind of see already that it already covered up a lot of the scarring I have on my face. Again, I am going to go back in with my Airspun powder. My rule of thumb for myself is anything that is a cream product or a liquidy product, you then set with the powder. And now I'm going to go in with my foundation, and yes, I will end up setting it down with the powder when it's all said and done. Foundation brush, it's like a packed foundation brush, and this is what I use to basically apply the foundation completely all over my face. I do have a little bit of excess here. Usually what I do is I will go ahead and just dab my brush in there, and then I will go in with the brush and brush all this out. So that's blended out. Next I'm going to go in with my concealers. I am going to be using the 24-Hour MAC Studio Fix. This is in the shade NC30, and all I'm going to do is just start to wisp this down with the applicator. This is what I would use for my concealer. I am just going to pounce this on my face. So now I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Paris Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick foundation. This is in the shade Honey. And I take this and I kind of use it as like a contouring tool. Now I'm going to just go this time with my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus matte, and this just helps. I always feel like if the brush is a little bit wet, it helps everything. And if it looks crazy now, it won't once it's done. I'm going to take this brush here. It's just, you know, a little small packing, almost like a foundation brush. So I'm going to go back in with my MAC concealer and just dab that area there. So now I am going to take the same brush that I used to put on my foundation and blend out the little contour stick, and I'm just going to go ahead and try and like blend all of this together. Then I take my sponge again. I am going back in with my Airspun powder. Next up, I am going to go ahead and take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Kit, and I am going to powder out the areas that I contoured here and brighten up this area over here. So I'm going to take this angled fluffy brush here. Again, no name, no idea what this brush is called, but there's several brushes on the market that look like this. And I'm just going to take the two brown shades there on the ends, and everywhere that I put that dark brown, I am going to lay a powder over it. Okay, and next up, I will go back into this in a second for the banana color here. But what I'm going to do first is take my banana powder by Makeup Revolution. Just going to dab a little bit of that in this lid here, I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge and I am just going to go ahead and set this under my under eye. This is going to help brighten as well as set this concealer that I have put on the face. I will let that set in as I finish my eyeshadow. Yeah, I'm not done with my eyeshadow yet. I'm going to take this same palette and I'm going to go basically use the same colors I used on my lid and put it underneath here, underneath my waterline. So I'm going to go in with the shade All For You first. That was my transition shade that I started with on my eyelid, and I'm just going to take this brush right here and brush that as close as to that line as I can get. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Active Full with the same brush, and I'm just going to brush along that line as well. And then I'm going to take Spyglass, that's the black shade. Next up, I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty eyeliner. This I'm going to put on my waterline. This is in the shade Cause I'm Black. And usually what I do is I'll take this little packer brush here that I used to brush the translucent powder on my face, and I'm just going to grab it like this so I don't put my fingers on my foundation, and I'm just going to throw that in my waterline there. Okay, I'm going to go back in with that black shade Spyglass, give it a little bit of a smudged look there. Okay, and then after that's done, what I do is I will just normally take this brush here and I'll use the transition shade and just brush it there down at the bottom. This is going to help just blend everything out as well. I am going to go in with that same brush that I have been doing my translucent powder with, and I'm just going to dust that off. And then usually what I'll do is I will go ahead, take my Anastasia contour powder kit, and I'm just going to dab it in there, and I'm going to go ahead and put this shade of powder in the areas that basically I just dusted the other one off. And then I end up going back in with my angled brush here with my brown shades, and I just kind of define that a little bit more. And then I am going to go in with my Physicians Formula blush. This is in the shade Blushing Rose, and it is basically just a blush that has a bunch of different shades to it. And for that I have a blush brush. This I believe is just the e.l.f. brand, and I just brush it along the sides there. If it seems like it's too pinky in this area for you, take that same translucent brush and I just brush those edges so that way it kind of blends into my skin. I am going to go ahead and set everything. So I believe this is the look. What I'm going to go ahead and do first is use my Fix Plus matte, and I'm just going to spray that all over the face. If I were going to go out after this, or if I was going to go out for that day, I will top it off with my Urban Decay All Nighter in Ultra Matte. I'm not going to use it today. I'm just going to take this face off as soon as I'm done. So next up, I am going to do my lashes, and I'm actually going to do that off camera, and then I will come back once I have my lips on and my lashes and show y'all the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I have my lashes on. These are lashes from Kiss, and they are the Shy style. And then on the lips, I have Live Glam's Mood, as well as Tarte, I believe. Yeah, Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. I don't know how to pronounce that. That's what it is. If y'all like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. This is just a starter video. Comment in the comment section below and let me know what y'all want to see. Until then, bye, peace out.